Coming up on the Get Loud podcast presented by SeatGeek, the new Commanders log is out, and we learned a lot about this organization and this franchise.
Inside the brainchild right there.
And we're going to bring in your guy, Brentley Weissman, talk about player comps between Commanders players and your show.
House of Dragons, we going to Westeros, baby.
Also, best prequels and sequels.
Oh, this should be fun.
How you doing, guys? It is the Get Loud podcast presented by SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Smoot,
Yeah.
Jinx, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
I'm doing well.
It's summertime, feeling good, baby. You know when summertime hit, all the new shows happen. You know when the sports start to trickle down and the championship games, they over with. By the way, Celtics win.
Yep.
First of all, I want to say this to all the people that live in Boston. Y'all don't deserve another parade in the next 100 years. Like, think about it. Boston averages 3 to 4 parades every decade.
They've had 13 titles since the year 2000.
And that's football counted.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to say you got the Red Sox. You know they went on a run. I don't even want to talk about the dark, evil empire with the Patriots. And now back to with the Celtics. Like, if any city don't deserve for the next 50 years another parade, it's the Boston area. Come on, let somebody else eat.
Let's eat.
Yes.
We need another parade here in D.C.
We
and
do.
We're going to get things started
Yeah.
with the Commanders in the fall, starting to build this franchise from the ground up again.
Yeah.
So the new Commanders log is out.
Hey, you know what? I watched it.
It's great.
And if the fans can't really appreciate that for what that is, because a lot of people don't let you into the intimate moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you make it and you got to see the engine work together. You got to see people bringing stuff off each other. You got to see people saying, yay, nay, this, that. I thought it gave you an insight that you can't get that on HBO. You can't get that through the Washington Post. You can't get that through. You have to literally see it. I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was one of the best shows we had.
It was really compelling, and I know fans have been waiting for it for a long time because
Yeah.
people in the comments were like, it's about time we got this, and it was worth the wait.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it. You know, when the cameras are on for a while, you know it at first, but then you forget, right? Because you're doing your job.
I got to go to work.
Right.
At one point.
Right.
At one point, I got to clock in. It's like walking out for a game. That initial crowd, whistle blown. It's just football now. It's just football. I tone out everybody else in the stand, even though I know my job is made to be watched.
Sure.
I still have a job to do inside the job, and that's what you got to see Adam Peters do. That's what you got to see the front office do. That's what you got to see the analytics do. That's what you got to see. The coaches are in there. I love when they like, we thinking about taking an offensive player here. Bring up Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
How you feel about this? Like, they're telling me teamwork make the dream work. All right, that's what we watched with the Celtics. We watched Brad Stevens move to the front office.
I was just
Joe
gonna say,
Mazzulla.
right.
All right, and say, you know what? We're going to have a certain type player. Well, that's what we drafted in this draft. We drafted certain type players. First of all, we drafted guys that play multiple positions. We drafted guys that are the captains of their team. We brought in like 7 captains of their team. That tells you what type of guy they're looking for.
And it really is. That's the one thing that stood out to me is so many different people involved. Obviously, Adam Peters is making that final call because that's his job.
Yeah.
But there are so many people along the way. You tend to think of it as a couple people. No. This is a whole group of people getting us to this point.
It's a football family. And that's a word. I already heard it. I always heard it growing up. But I got a chance to sit at the table with one Arthur Monk, Gary Clark, and Ricky Sanders, a.k.a. The Posse. And I asked them, what made y'all so good, so better than we was? I had Coach Gibbs, just like you did. He was like, yeah, we were a football family. Y'all were a football team.
Oh,
It's
that's
a
interesting.
difference in it. And that's what I think we got brewing now, football family.
And they were messing with each other a little bit. My favorite part was when, who was it? I think it was Adam Peters saying to someone, who Jackson will take? Because they wanted Sanders still. They wanted Mikey Sanders still.
Yeah.
And Adam Peters goes, they're taking a Michigan defensive tackle. Sanders. And he kind of messed with him a little bit in the moment, like we're getting our guy. But, man, there's some really harrowing moments in there.
Tensions in there.
Yeah.
You got to realize, like, where you slotted it kind of dictate who you get. Like, you can have who you love on your paper, but if the Cowboys love him better, or the Falcons love him better, like, they willing to move up where you not. He's not gonna be there. Now you got to say who's our next man up? Who's the next man we're looking for? So it's a shuffle when it comes to that draft.
One of the guys they chose, of course, Luke McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And on RG3's podcast this past week, the guy, Bobby Three Sticks.
Yeah, oh, Bobby.
Oh, Bobby.
You know, Bobby.
And they had Ed on the show, Ed McCaffrey, and he was talking about when Luke came to him, because Luke started at Nebraska, went to Rice, and, of course, Luke was a quarterback. And then Ed said, when my son came to me and said, no, I want to be a receiver.
Yeah.
I want to do whatever I can do to be a part of this team.
Yeah.
He loved that because, A, his son was happy, but B, it spoke to the fact that this is a kid who just wants to win.
Just want to win. And not just want to win, just want to live in this sport.
Yeah.
You got to realize this dude is second, third generation now, almost like in his own house.
Crazy.
Like, you got to realize dad is sitting up there with a Super Bowl trophy, looking good. Your brother is on the cover of Madden, all right? And then it's you. Yeah, he wants to fit in. Yes, he wants to show I can do everything that they did. I can accomplish everything they did. It's nothing like sibling rivalry. It's nothing like dad or mom setting the bar. All right, so now the kid's going to reach. But then there's going to be one or two of them kids say, I'm not going to reach to be just as good as dad. I'm going to be better. All right, and trials and tribulations make you who you are. I don't think his brother went through much trial and tribulation. He was up for the Heisman.
Yeah,
he was a first-round draft pick. I think Luke has went through the trials and tribulations. So hopefully we got the better brother.
Also, Dad's like, hey, rack up all the stats you want. I got a couple rings.
Hey, listen, when we sit down at the table, it's just like it's like House McCaffrey. Who would you rather sit with? House McCaffrey or House Manning?
Oh. That's a total. I think I go Manning, though.
You going House Manning?
Yeah, I think I go House Manning.
You look like a front runner.
Yeah.
You look like an old quarterback guy.
Hey, Archer's in Texas. I got to go with the Mannings.
No, I'm just saying, I knew it had to be a connection there. I'm going House McCaffrey.
Well, you said something earlier when we were walking in here, and we were just BSing a little bit, that when you talk about Luke McCaffrey, you say, okay, it's only 2 years a receiver, but because he has that quarterback experience, he's a little more experienced than you might think.
He's more advanced in the playbook than some receivers.
Yeah.
Most receivers that make it to college, they probably used to play quarterback in high school. And now they know where the quarterbacks want me to get in this zone. They know how the quarterback want me to leave some room for this fade route because I am that quarterback. And now he thinking in his head, oh, I'm too close to this sideline. Let me push this DB out more, give him some room to do it. So he already has an insight into, all right, how, what, and when. And then, hey, he knocking on the door. Jane Daniels, you ain't the only one here at 5:30. I'm here with you. So he understands a quarterback's best friend is, a wide receiver's best friend is the quarterback. And he get used to throwing to you. When the game count, he going to throw you the ball. So I think Luke understands the intricate parts of breaking down the offense, coming out of his stance and realizing zone a man. Now, your route changes from zone to man. A lot of rookie receivers struggle with that because they're not used to doing it. They just used to, hey, I want you to run a post route, run a post route. No, he would already be on top of that because of him used to reading the defenses from the quarterback position. So I think that gives him an edge, just like Mike Sanders still. He used to play wide receiver. It gives him an edge at corner because he thinks like a wide receiver. I was an ex-wide receiver. Deion Sanders, ex-wide receiver. Champ Bailey, ex-wide receiver. And we think like wide receivers.
Man. I love that. And I love, too, I think that's the ultimate move for team players to say, all right, I want to play here. But more important to me is just get me on the field because I want to be a part of this.
Yes. A part of whatever this is.
Yes.
And sometimes we can't get out our own way because of our wants. Meaning, if I wanted to play wide receiver my whole life, but my coach looked at my body type and said, no, you're going to be a corner.
Yep.
I would have got it my own way. Like, high school, I'm killing people at wide receiver. You would think I love to challenge a cornerback because you're back against the wall.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I catch like a wide receiver. And I love dancing. Hey, I could be a little Santana Mouse. No, I want to be Deion Sanders, Dale Green. I want to take the challenge on.
One thing we learned during minicamp, which of course you love hearing this, is that Jaden Daniels was there at 5:45, the 5:45 a.m. club. Got Luke McCaffrey, some other guys to join him, and he even surprised some of the vets who were getting there early. They would get there and be like, this kid's already here.
Every quarterback that I beat into the building, we lost a lot of games.
I bet that's right.
That's right. I'm sorry. If I'm looking you in the eye while we walk through the door and you the quarterback, we already lost. Like this is a defensive team then. We understand now it's about us on this side of the ball because leading by example and leading by yapping and talking are two different things.
Yep.
All right. Once you know your quarterback is here, first man here, last man gone, his mistakes start to shrink. His understanding of everything starts to grow. His feel of his teammates grow because all he's around is, if you make it here this early, ain't nobody here but some of the coaches and the film guys. Other than nobody else is here. That means he's in a dark room, probably with a milkshake from Mickey D, and he's going through the mistakes from the day before. Like when you self-correct like that. And this, if I like anything Jane Daniel has said in any interview, the interview when they put the mic in his face and said, how does it feel to be the star quarterback for Washington? He was like, first of all, I'm not a star. I haven't earned that. That told me everything I need to know about this young man. Everything I need to know. He understands I was a star in college.
Right.
I'm not a star in the pros yet. I just went drafted high. I still got a lot to prove.
Plus, most of these dudes in the locker room, they were stars in college too. That means nothing.
That means nothing. Like, once you leave college, it's clean slate protocol, Jinx. Clean slate. That means all of us are. Some guys come with a little bit more star power.
Sure.
You Bo Jackson, you Deion Sanders.
Yes.
All right, Dan Marino, that is Dan. Like some guys come with that college hero in them.
Yeah.
But he understands the task at hand, and that tells me everything.
How difficult is it? And I know we're talking about different positions here, but when you're a rookie, how difficult is it to earn that respect? We're already hearing that about Jane Daniels, already earning that respect. Like, oh, you're coming in with all these accolades, but you're putting in the work.
And I'm going to say, because he's putting in the work, they're not shocked when he goes on the field and he does what he's supposed to.
Okay.
So, therefore, as a veteran always tell me, Bruce Smith was like, I remember my first conversation with Bruce, like, yeah, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. And he's like, yeah, I'm from Missouri, show me.
Right.
Don't talk my head off. We got practice tomorrow. Show me tomorrow against Michael Westbrook, Rod Gardner, and the rest of these guys what you capable of. And once you show me what you're capable of, I can trust you. And once I can trust you, all the rest of these guys can trust you. And that's just what it is. It's earned. You don't buy it. You got all the money in the world now. And you're not used to being told no when it comes to buying something. Yeah, give me that, give me that, give me that. I don't want to sell my car. Give it to me. It doesn't matter. You have to earn this from these veterans because these guys been here. And I always tell people this. If you're talking to a 10-year vet, understand it's 5,000 players come out per year. Only so many going to get drafted. That means if this dude has been playing for 10 years, he's held off close to 50,000, 60,000 players. Very much more youthful than him. All right? So he's using now a mixture of natural talent, work habit, and knowledge. And the best vets try to transplant their brain into your youthful body. Yep. And now they understand I can get him ahead of the clock that people got him on.
I tell you what, he's done everything right thus far. It's great to see.
Yeah, it is.
Let's pay some bills, and we're going to talk about Tom Brady and his Hall of Fame speech for the Patriots. I can't wait to get into this. Recycled Track Systems, transforming the way that commercial businesses and communities manage waste and recycling. They combine the power of AI with premium customer service to optimize waste pickup schedules, ensuring timely and efficient collections to help keep our neighborhoods cleaner and
greener.
Bam! Visit rts.com, Recycled Track Systems, to learn more about how they can help manage your business and your waste more responsibly. So, Tom Brady, Patriots Hall of Famer. That's not a shock.
I'm finna say.
You heard his Hall of Fame talk. You know what I loved about this whole thing is that, first of all, he's very inspirational. He's about the team. But there was a little bit of, it just struck me as funny when he was talking about the things he missed out on. He was like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. When you wake up every morning at 6 a.m. and your friends are sleeping in and having pancakes. I was like, Tommy needs some pancakes.
No, listen. Tommy is wired to play football.
Yes, that's it.
And right now, we're going to have to sit back and watch Tommy unwire himself. Like, it's hard. It's easy to get there to a point where this is my routine. And now that ain't his routine no more. You remember he retired that first time. I can see him right now in that school line, picking his kids up, blowing that horn. 6 minivans in front of him. Line moving, snail pace. He used to moving at a certain pace. Want things done. Can't do it. Won't do it. Going back to work. Like it's gonna be so hard for him to unwire. He said, like, I want to see a week where he just wakes up at 12 o'clock noon, like every day.
Can he do it? I don't think he can.
Well, you know, when you're eating avocado ice cream, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thing. I'm wondering, I know for a fact he's going to be one of them guys because I don't think he ever want to be pudgy again.
No.
That he's going to stay with his TB12.
Yes.
So basically he eating oak that was in the woods 3 days ago and
fresh
honey
picked
from
strawberries.
Yeah, honey from a bear hole, you know, like he just literally like he's one of those guys. So he gonna stay with his nutrition. The question is he gonna still be a workoutaholic? That's the question. Like, when do he just say, you know what? It's time to be Thomas Brady, not Tom. Like, I done been Tom long enough. Like, it was to a point where it was retirement time for me. And I had to ask myself, are you ready to be Fred now? Are you ready to, like, don't worry about Fred Smoot, the football player. Are you ready to be Fred now? And I think it happens different for every athlete. I think with all the stuff he got going on, it'll keep him so busy that you don't have to worry about him going through a minor, small depression because he don't have football in his life no more. But the question is, routine. When will he relax with the routine? And I don't know. I really don't know, because you could tell Peyton ain't lift the weight since he like,
when he was done. And some players are like that. When they're done, they're done.
They're done.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of players, when they walk away, they don't even like to talk about football no more. Like, I know guys that if you don't bring it up to them, they will not talk about it. And they had a luxurious career, some Hall of Fame. They don't want to be bound and controlled by that. And I tell people that all the time, like, we don't want that to be our only identity in life. It's an athlete.
And you're walking away early in your life.
Yeah, like we retire in our 30s, 40s. Like, this is when people with careers are just starting to peak out.
Yeah,
they're starting to peak out, and we are already walking away. And that's why I say, never, mark my word with this, don't do this. Stop walking up to athletes asking them, what are you doing now? If you want somebody to be quiet on you, start your conversation off like that.
Yeah. Just
start it off normal like you would anybody else.
So how hard was it for you, or how long did it take you? You have to miss it. There's no question.
I literally disconnected. It's like the ultimate breakup. So the best way to do it is clean break it. So mine was vacations, and mine was literally like just go find something that Fred like. And now I'm playing in the dirt, growing gardens and all kinds of stuff, because you're just trying to find things to do.
And when you finally kind of got through that cloud, if you will, then were you able to sort of step back into football and say, all right, let me get back into something that I love, that I was passionate about?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Then I have been setting myself up to talk this game my whole life.
Yeah.
Let's go talk it. But I had to air out, Jinx. I had to air out for at least a year. I had to just do it, just a year of just nothing. Like a lot of traveling, a lot of just trying to find yourself. Like, you have to really push the reset button earlier than most people do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Tom's got to do that as well, though. He's probably going to have a harder time than most people.
Well,
most
people go through midlife crisis and go get a drop top. They get a drop top Mustang and go get tickets. All right, go accumulate tickets. He went and bought a yacht, and I think he might be in the south of France. I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping that Edge get to just bow down just a little bit. So then we can learn more about Tom, not just Brady.
We got Brentley Weissman coming up, former NFL scout, current NFL analyst, going to talk NFL players and your show.
House of the Dragons.
So that's coming up, a little player comp. First, let's pay some bills.
Why not? Get Loud Podcast is brought to you by Bet365, the official sports betting partner of the Washington Commanders. Bet on a range of NFL markets with Bet365 app. Craft your own personalized bet slip with parlay. Access thousands of games with live streaming. Place your bet before the match or during the game. It's really up to you. Download the Bet365 podcast today and join 80 million members worldwide, age 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Virginia. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. I'm going to call that number one day. I'm just going to call it. I want to see who answers the phone. I'm going to call it.
Give it a shot.
I'm going to see what's going on. NWAA. We don't travel to escape life. We travel so life don't escape us. We dream of any place in the world, and in the blink of an eye, we're there. That's the wonder of flight. All you have to do is decide is where to. Dulles International Airport. Let your imagination soar. Book your adventure today at flydulles.com/nonstop.
Well done. Back by popular demand. I know you're a Game of Thrones guy.
Yeah.
Now the House of Dragons
yes,
is streaming.
yes.
So we have to bring in Brentley Weissman, House of Dragon fan, former NFL scout. He knows his football. So we're going to do some football player comps to characters in House of Dragon, and you've already been schooling me.
Yeah, characters and situations. By the way, people loved our first version of this. So let's try to top this, Brentley. Let's try to top this with the analogy and with the comparisons here, because we both on fire. And about the first episode of the second season blew me away. The pacing blew me away. The action blew me away. And the ending, blood and cheese, oh, it did it for me, Brentley. What about you, brother?
Yeah, I mean, we had to wait for 2 long years, and House of Dragon is finally back. I thought it came back with a vengeance. It was fantastic, Fred. It was absolutely fantastic. Just really well done. It's totally worth the wait. I think we're in store for a great season.
And you know what? That wait reminds me of the wait we've been waiting on in Washington. You know, we just been waiting for greatness to return. And all of a sudden, we got new ownership. All of a sudden, we got Dan Quinn as the head coach. And now we got Jaden Daniels, who I got a comp in here for. So at the end of the day, it's a new era here. And you did say 2 years we waited. It was worth the wait.
Yep. Okay, so let's go with our first comp here.
Yeah.
And listen, I know nothing about this. I just listen to whatever you guys have to say here. But why is Jaden Daniels comparable to Daemon Targaryen?
All right, this is why I made him Daemon, because Jaden is not the bad guy. Like, Daemon comes off as the bad guy sometimes. He comes off as sinister. This is why I said, mind frame-wise, he reminds me of Daemon. Because when you're the second son of a king, all right, you're not the favorite son. You're not the son that's finna take over Westeros. All right, and the first son has always been Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has always been Viserys. All right, when people say who's the best in this draft, it's always been Caleb Williams. Well, my guy sits right there knowing, all right, Daemon knows he's a better fighter than Viserys. Daemon knows he could be a better leader than Viserys, but nobody gives him that props because he has to stand in the shadow of Viserys the whole time. But Daemon always has a plan. Daemon always sharpening his skills. Daemon always has an angle. So when I looked at that, I said, Daemon and Jaden always being like second fiddle to these guys. Can't wait to replace them and be first. What you think about that?
I love it. I love it. I was a little thrown off because, to your point, Daemon is almost like an anti-hero where he's, very black, black and white, where the black side he's evil.
Yeah.
The white side, you want to root for him, right? Jaden, to me, is such a good guy.
Yeah.
But in terms of being overlooked, in terms of having the raw talent, being arguably the most talented quote-unquote quarterback or quote-unquote fighter in, the rookie class or in Westeros, totally see it. Absolutely see it. I think it's a great comp.
Who was your comp for either Daemon or either Jaden Daniels?
No, for Jaden, I'm gonna go a different route. I'm actually gonna go with Princess Rhaenyra or Queen Rhaenyra now.
All right.
I think obviously so. Jaden Daniels, whether he's announced the starter today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, whatever it is, he is the heir apparent for the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra is the rightful heir. I don't care what the Greens say, Fred. I don't care what Aegon says. I don't care what Otto says. I don't care what Allison says. Princess Rhaenyra is the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. I think Rhaenyra and Jaden, both outstanding leaders, both have a ton of experience in terms of the way they're brought up. I mean, Rhaenyra was kind of been groomed to be that, that heir, that person since she was named heir as a young girl. She's been trained. She's had the honor of kind of sitting behind Viserys and watching him work. And I think Jaden similarly, I mean, you think about his collegiate journey from Arizona State to LSU and some of the great coaching he's had. I just think they're both really ready for that moment. And once they're given that moment to shine, I don't think we'll disappoint. So I'm going to go with Rhaenyra for Jaden Daniels.
I'm not mad at that, and I'm not mad at that because Rhaenyra in the midst of like 3 episodes, she loses her daddy. She has a miscarriage. She loses Lucerys through the dragon fight, and she starts this episode just lost. You know what? Just I lost so much, but she stood back up, and we watched Jane Daniels from Arizona State to LSU go through these ups and downs only to come out on top. So I can dig that one. I'm not mad at that one, but I like my Damon angle a little bit better on that.
All right, here's another one.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin, Sir Christian Cole.
All right. I said Terry McLaurin, Sir Christian, because Sir Christian is actually blindly loyal. And he's bounced from side to side. He's had different leaders time for time. And Terry has had several head coaches, several offensive coordinators, but he stays packed. He stays for him. And he's the guy that protects everybody. He's that leader out there. He's that guy. Now, I don't like the slimy sides of Christian Cole. Like, Christian Cole has some slimy sides to him, and I don't think Terry does. I think Terry's one of them stand-up guys. But if somebody got to lead my King's watch, it's Terry McLaurin. Like, at the end of the day, Sir Christian Cole gives off that, because regardless of what's going on with him, he's all about, what is my job and how do I got to do my job? And I can take the feelings out. That's the one thing Christian Cole has shown. He done fell in love with both. Like, he's one of the best men in Westeros. He done basically beat up Aemon at the tourney. Then, literally, been with both of the queens. He is that dude. I just think at the end of the day, he's been through a lot, but he had to adapt to change better than anybody in Westeros right now. And that's why I said Terry, because we have forced Terry over the years to adapt to change.
Yeah, no, I like that one a lot. I think when you think about Christian Cole, he's obviously one of the best kind of fighters in Westeros. He's maybe the most talented members of the King's Guard. So, I mean, you think about Terry McLaurin, he's, to me, a top 10 receiver, even though he never gets, talked about in that light.
Yep.
I think the tape speaks for itself. The stats speak for itself. And I think that's what I'm going to go with Aemon Targaryen for my comp or for Scary Terry. I think kind of leaning into the Scary Terry nickname, outside of Daemon, and arguably including Daemon, there may not be a more scary character in House of Dragon than Aemon Targaryen. You think about how he was really able to control Vhagar when he was 10 years old. That takes a rare ability, a person who has no fear, willing to risk it all. And I think Scary Terry, he'll go over the middle of the field, ready to get clocked by a linebacker, no questions asked. He shows toughness. He shows just an ability to kind of get that job done. And for me, it's with Aemon. He has always kind of had that second son complex where
he got it.
Aegon is the firstborn. He's the one who theoretically, in the Green's eyes, will be king, and Aemon's always playing second fiddle.
Yep.
While Scary Terry McLaurin, has been the number one for the Commanders, he's never talked about in that first tier receivers in the NFL.
Because he's never had the quarterback. He's never had the quarterback needed to be on that level.
He's still, in my opinion, had the stats almost. I mean, he's just been so consistent, so productive, but for whatever reason, he's just not, and to your point, I think it is because of the quarterback situation, but he's still just not talked about in that tier.
Yep.
And neither's Aemon. Yep. And I think because of that, they fight with a chip on their shoulder that allows them to really maximize their talents, maximize their abilities. And additionally, the level of consistency and production that both show, I think, to me, just kind of speaks for itself. So I'm going to go Aemon Targaryen for Mr. Terry McLaurin.
Actually, I love that one, too, because Aemon was the last one to get his dragon. You remember they played the trick with him with the pig? Like, all the rest of the kids had already burned.
Yeah, that was dirty.
Yeah, that was dirty. And then not only did he lose an eye, but like he told him, but I just gained the biggest dragon. Like, he has the oldest dragon in Westeros right now. So Aemon has the biggest dragon. So he rides Vhagar. So maybe Terry will get his just due, and when he finally do get his dragon, which I think he got his dragon in Jane Daniels, it's the biggest dragon in Westeros.
Now we got a defensive guy. Bobby Wagner, Lord Corlys Valerian.
It just fit. Like, I can literally take Bobby Wagner and put him in Westeros, and he'll be Corlys. Like, Corlys he's weathered. He's old. He's been there. He's the richest man in Westeros. He owns the biggest naval fleet, the Sea Snake. All right. At the end of the day, everything comes and goes through Corlys Velaryon. Like, if you want to marry into a family and it's not Targaryen, it's Velaryon. He's that dude with the pelts on the wall, per se. He's the dude that's been there, countless battles won, countless this. But the one thing that he missing is, like he say, people forget faces. They don't forget names. Like, they don't forget names, and he know that the Velaryon name could eventually die because he's living in a lie somewhat. Like, his grandkids, he know are not his grandkids, but he treats them like his grandkids. So he's a stand-up dude, been there, done that. The young queen really listened to him and his wife, which is her auntie, for any information they could get from him. Just like everybody on this team, they go and they pick Bobby Wagner's brain, Jane Daniel picking his brain, the linebackers picking his brain, the defensive back picking his brain, because when you got somebody in there that's weathered like that, the respect level is there, and nobody disrespects Corlys Velaryon. Like, when they say, all right, he got the sea snake on his side, they're like, all right, well, we might need to go get the Greyjoy. We need to go get somebody to add to this naval contest, because it won't be fair with them having those dragons and that naval group that they have. So I thought Bobby Wagner and Corlys Velaryon, I thought that was seamless right there.
Yeah, I can't argue that, and I think this is the one we've really kind of picked the same. Bobby Wagner is for sure Corlys Velaryon, aka the Sea Snake. Kind of echoing just what Fred said already. He's the one with legit battle experience. He won the battle, at the I'm blanking, against the crab feeder.
With the crab feeder.
Yeah, he won the battle. He won the battle with the crab feeder. I mean, Bobby Wagner, and he's one of the few soldiers in Westeros, and this time that has legit battle experience where he came back victorious.
Yes.
Similarly with Bobby Wagner, he is one of the few football players on the Commanders that has legit championship Super Bowl winning experience.
Yep.
With pedigree, with that comes a level of confidence, a level of credibility.
Yes.
For
admiration.
For his followers, right? And so right when Corlys Velaryon came back from from being injured, and he walks to the long table where Rhaenyra and Daemon are planning their kind of attack, or their plan of attack, all eyes turn to Corlys Velaryon.
Yes.
What do we do? What's your experience? What's your your thoughts? Similarly, Bobby Wagner, the minute that guy steps on the field with the Commanders, the minute he comes into the huddle for the Commanders, where do all the eyes turn? It's Bobby Wagner. He is the natural leader. He is the one where, just people gravitate towards him. And that's really what Corlys Velaryon brings. And that's why I think out of anybody on Team Black, Corlys Velaryon, to me, who's non-Dragon Rider, because obviously dragons don't count. Yep. Non-Dragon Rider, he has the ability to influence the course of the war with his experience, leadership, and honestly, I'm underselling him, his talent. He's a great warrior. I mean, Bobby Wagner can still play. Corlys Velaryon can still fight, can still lead battles. And so I think this was a no-brainer. I'm glad we agreed on this one. I think for sure Corlys Velaryon, Bobby Wagner, home run.
Yeah, it's the pedigree. And people forget, not only do Corlys got this big, gigantic navy that could just take over the oceans, his wife got Meraxes. She's riding a dragon herself. So he's loaded in a way that the other people not loaded in the deck. But I also see him handle mature situations maturely. So that's why I said it.
Finally, B-Rob, Prince Aemon Targaryen.
Yeah, you know what? It's that second son syndrome. That, the one thing I know about B-Rob, he waited so long at Alabama to get his chance. And nobody ever gave him the love that they gave the people before him, the Derrick Henrys of the world. Like 3-4 running backs went first round, and nobody ever said nothing about him. They just said, he's a good back, meaning he's not great at any one thing, but he's good at everything. Good pass protector, good route runner, good run through the A and the B gap, can't run on the outside. So, like you said with Terry, he the Rodney Dangerfield of like running backs, where they don't give him the respect that he needs. And Aemon is that type guy where he don't get the respect, but he lashes out in anger when he doesn't get their respect. Well, when you watch B-Rob run, he runs angry. He runs very angry to the point every time he run, put some respect on my name. Every time I might have one eye, but I run right over you. Like he got this thing about him where he's been through trial and tribulations. Both of these guys have been through trial and tribulations. Better on the field, better off the field. And it only shapes them to who they are. Like, Amon is who he is because not only does he want to replace his Uncle Damon as the most feared man in Westeros, it's an anger inside of him. And it's that little piece of doubt people have about you, and people saying that your brother or whoever in front of you is always a step better. Like, even now, people are so happy about Austin Eckler. Are you forgetting the starter is still B-Rob? Like, let's understand that's who he is. So it's that respect level. And what happens when they don't get their respect? They lash out, and it's mean when they do.
I love that one. If I didn't use Amon already for Terry McLaurin, I probably would have used that for B-Rob. I love the fact because B-Rob is known for those angry runs, man. He loves running people over. He loves seeking contact. And I think with Amon, I mean, that guy will never back away from a fight. If anything, he looks for the fight. He looks for the kind of contact. Yeah. And so I think that's great for B-Rob. I went a completely different route. I went with the late Lionel Strong, the old hand. I went with him because you were kind of hitting on it. B-Rob was never considered a blue chip prospect coming out of high school, nor the NFL draft. I think he was drafted in the 4th round, and he was never going to be that top first round pick, even second round pick or whatever it is, right? And Lionel Strong was never the first choice to be hand, right? Mm-hmm. He was not the first choice. That was Otto Hightower. Lionel Strong isn't the biggest, isn't the most physically imposing, but what he is he's consistent. He is very productive. He was arguably, the longest tenured, most productive hand, during that time, until obviously his passing. And that's what I think B-Rob is. B-Rob is just a rock. He's a pillar. He's someone who shows up to work every single day, and you know exactly what you're getting out of him. He's consistent, and there is no fluctuation with his game. It's very steady, and I think that's what you want in a early down running back. And I think with Lionel Strong, that's exactly what you want in a hand. You want someone who's steady, who's a rock, who's consistent, and who you know what you're getting day in and day out. So that's why I went with Lionel Strong for B-Rob. But I do kind of wish I had something that's a little more showcasing B-Rob's physicality, his tenacity, his willingness to kind of seek contact. Yeah. But I think Lionel Strong kind of shows that consistency and just kind of the know what you're getting out of him. So that's why I went Lionel Strong.
All right, I like that you brought the family in there, because I had one wild card I want to throw at you. Larry Strong. Larry is starting.
I got Larry for somebody else too.
He started to make his presence felt. I want to sneak in a Zach Ertz, Larry Strong. Only because both of these guys know a lot more information than you think they know, but then they walk around and they want to be unconsuming, almost invisible, if you know what I mean. The club foot just like when he snuck and talked to A-Gun just for that second, trying to get him to fire his granddaddy as hand of the king. That just shows me that he always is up to something. He's always a step ahead. So did you like the Zach Ertz, just a wild card, throw it out there, little Larry Strong, little Zach Ertz right there?
Oh, I love it. I mean, nobody outside maybe Bobby Wagner is bringing more the wealth of knowledge to the game, just been in every situation than Zach Ertz. And Larry Strong, as we know, that man knows everything about, the doings, the comings and goings of the King's Landing, of the Red Keep, of Westeros. Heck, I mean, so love that. I had a Larry Strong comp as well, actually.
Who you got?
Luke McCaffrey. Larry Strong. Yeah, let me just say this.
I want to hear this one.
Hey, let me say this. Comes from great
football family.
Powerful house.
Yep.
Very powerful house. I think Luke's the third son, but let's pretend the second son, right? Yep. Where he's not the most well-known, because if you know, and people don't know, Larry Strong is the second son of Lord Lionel. The first son's Harwin, who's
that's who the kid's
arguably the most famous most famous warrior of wrestlers outside of maybe Damon. And Larry's has always had to kind of live in his shadow. And he's had to deal with a lot of adversity. He was born with a club foot.
Yep.
Luke McCaffrey has had to deal with a lot of adversity. He started as a quarterback and, eventually had to switch positions to receiver, had to transfer school. So everything that Luke and Larry's have gotten, they've had to earn. Nothing has been given. And so they have worked their way. Larry's now the master of whispers. And Luke McCaffrey earned his way to being a third-round pick when you probably asked anybody last year, this time he was going undrafted, right?
Yep.
And so I think they had to earn every single spot. And Luke, to me, with him playing quarterback, with him playing receiver,
running back also,
running back at practice, right?
Yeah.
With him coming from that football family, he is so smart in terms of understanding the game. And as we discussed, Larry's, I mean, there is no better manipulator, no better just master player of the Game of Thrones or whatever you want to call it, right? Like, I went with Larry Strong for that reason for Luke McCaffrey.
Wow, that's great. You blew me away on that because now all I can think in my head is House McCaffrey. Like this how with Easy Ed sitting up as king. Like I can just see it. Like I can see it right there. There's actually a seamless fit right there. There's a seamless Luke Larry. It's all working right there. Everything's working right there.
Brentley Weissman, former NFL scout, current NFL analyst, and he knows House of Dragon and Game of Thrones. Thanks for being with us. Great having Brentley here on the show. We're definitely going to have him back. You guys are already talking about that.
Hey, listen, this my dude. Like, we live in restaurants.
You guys, I can watch you guys just going back and forth. I'm like, they are connecting on every level here.
First of all, I live on 1363 Westeros Boulevard. He lives 1362. We are neighbors in Westeros. We live in Flea Bottom. All right?
We're going to talk about best prequels and sequels. But first, let's pay some bills, and we start with SeatGeek.
Why not?
You know it. You love it. Breaking news you Commanders fans are going to want to hear. It is official. SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. The deal is finalized. They are the newest member of the Commanders family. Get used to the name because you're going to hear it all season long, whether you're buying or selling tickets to Commanders games or any other live event in the DMV. SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek, the new official ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders, so Commanders fans can fan. Best and worst sequels, and I have to say, a great movie from the 80s, because we're the same generation, is Revenge of the Nerds, but you've seen all of them?
I have seen all of them. Listen, it was always one of my, you know how you have some shows that just warm your heart, like make you feel good?
It's a good movie, yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds have always did that because it was like, we're going to collect all of these misfits, put them together, and just watch them have a good time. And that's what it was about. And you got to realize I was young at that time, so I'm trying to figure out what college looked like.
Yep.
And then they had Adams University. You know,
the Adams.
Yeah, the Adams. Like they come up with a better name than that. Yeah, somebody sat down and drew it on the board. I think we're gonna call them the Adams. You are genius. Yeah, that is what it is. I just thought they was great. I thought they got better as they went on. Until you finish with the one when Booger gets married. Like you say, you ain't never even seen the one.
Booger got married.
Booger got married, man. How could you not know that? And they had to round the gang up. One last time for Booger marriages. Even they got Ogre to show back up.
Nerds!
Yeah, they got Ogre to show back up. So Revenge of the Nerds goes down as one of the best. I don't know if you want to call it trilogies or franchises. I just think it's time for a reboot. I think they should have been rebooted Revenge of the Nerds by now.
That is one I'm surprised, because they reboot everything.
They're like, why wouldn't you reboot one that don't take all the CGI? It don't take any of that.
Yeah.
This is storyline driven right here. Revenge of the Nerds, one of the best. What you got?
Well, I'll tell you one of the worst, more recent. Space Jam 2.
Space Jam, LeBron. Like, LeBron don't fail that much.
No, but that was not a good movie.
He stunk it up.
Yeah.
Like, see, this is what I don't like. Because we are in that generation that we are Michael Jordaners, but we do respect LeBron.
Yeah, no doubt.
And for him to always say, "No, we ain't the same type player. Stop comparing us." Yeah, I want to be compared to the GOAT, but I'm a GOAT in a different way.
Yeah.
For him to do Space Jam kind of told me, like, yeah, you're trying to be Michael Jordan Jr.
And it didn't work out.
It didn't work out, but that one count. It stunk. I got one that stunk.
Okay.
I think most people say like lots of these movies stink, but I don't think so. I just like to watch cars go fast. Fast and the Furious. Now, Tokyo Drift with Lil Bow Wow and Tokyo was the worst. And I know some people gonna say, no, what about Fast and Furious 5, 6, 7? When they went to space,
Don't they have 10 now?
They got 10 now. Like, this is when I knew it was getting ludicrous. And I'm not just saying this because Ludacris was in it. When Ludacris went to space, him and Tyrese in a Fiat, Fiero. You remember them little red cars?
Little Pontiac Fiero, yeah.
I was like, you know what? You just jumped out the Burj Khalifa like a year ago in a car. It's just, what else can you do besides turn the car to a submarine for the next one? Because I heard there's a new one coming out.
Oh, my God.
But Tokyo Drift was by far the worst of the Fast and Furious. I think it's the worst of all of them. And I'm finna say this, and I know I'm going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. We doing the worst sequels, prequels.
Okay.
I think Harry Potter is just the worst of everything.
I've never seen a Harry Potter. Not really my thing. But people love Harry Potter.
I know I'm gonna catch some vitriol stuff in these in these messages they gonna leave here. But if you really not, I'm gonna tell you what I do. I enjoy watching it with my kids because it's something that I can stomach that don't feel like I'm all the way in kiddie land.
Yeah.
But I'm there.
Yeah, I got
I'm fine.
You can still enjoy it.
If it's just me by myself, can't stomach the Harry Potters. I'm sorry. I know that's not popular by demand, but no, I'd rather have Game of Thrones. I'm just being honest.
No. Best sequel of all time, Empire Strikes Back. One of the best. Has to be.
You know what? Any of the first 3 Star Wars movies.
Yes.
Let's just be honest.
Yes.
Classics, Return of the Jedi. They all had a central theme of good versus evil, love affairs, action. I got Yoda jumping all over the screen. It's like perfect. C-3PO. I got Chewie. I like so character based to be a to be a sci-fi film.
Yeah.
So Star Wars up here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, always gonna be up here. And see, when we first said we were gonna do this, I said in my head I can't because I'm such I love Marvel. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
I love Marvel. So I'm like, is it fair for me to bring any Marvel in here? Because Endgame, we don't talk about sequels.
Okay.
I don't think nothing can beat Endgame.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Endgame, between Infinity War, when Thanos snapped and half the people, like, we left the theater, half of the people in the theater were missing. Like, it was like everybody was hurt because it was the first truly superhero movie, especially Collabo, that the heroes didn't win.
Yeah. Which I kind of like that sometimes because I like a twist. You know, I don't always want a happy ending as long as I get the best story.
That's what I'm saying. So I think Infinity War left us like, I guess the Black Panther gone? like everybody like, oh, it's like, what are we going to do now? So I felt like Infinity War, Endgame, 2 of the best. Now, I got to go through some worse.
Okay.
And I think most people going to look at this and say, Fred, Smoot, you just don't like scary movies. I do love scary movies.
Okay. But
I don't ever want to watch another Scream again. You understand
I agree with
me?
that.
Scream 1 through 26.
You got tired.
If I hear that voice on the phone, like, why do they keep answering the phone? And who still has a house phone? Like, get their cell number. They're like, I can't do it anymore. All right? They lost me. I was lost in Michael Myers. Like, how many you just don't die? Like Jamie Lee Curtis killed like 3 times. Like Freddy Krueger. Like, I got Freddy because Freddy didn't come until you dream, till you went to sleep.
Yeah.
I could see that. So now everybody insomniacs trying to find out what to do, how to do it. But Halloween can't stomach no more. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop remaking it.
I saw the last one. I was like, all right, let's wrap it up. Yeah.
Stop remaking it. It don't need to be made no more. Now, on the brighter side of things, Back to the Future.
That's a
Michael
great
J.
trilogy.
Fox.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That's a classic. You're talking about hitting on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Hitting on all of them, which all trilogies don't hit on all of them. Police Academy. Now, you know, we're showing our age now.
Now we're going back. Steve Guttenberg.
You're showing your age right now. That's all I'm saying. Police Academy, one of my favorites. And yes, Jinx, I've watched them all. I've watched them all because there was always, Hornberg, all those guys. My favorite. All right, they just was dip. Now, this is arguably one of the best hero movies of all time. Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, no doubt. Now, that is a great movie. And you know what? Batman Begins is a great movie by itself, too.
Batman Begins was stellar.
Mm-hmm.
They humanized Batman, right? Ain't gonna be none of this off-the-wall stuff. Bill, one of the best Batmans they ever do it, all right? But, boy, when they hooked up with the Joker.
Oh, Heath Ledger, man.
Heath Ledger literally, like, personified what a villain was. Like, you left that movie like, I'm more in love with the Joker, right?
Yeah.
That's who I am. I am a little insane, just like him. Organized chaos at its finest. The Dark Knight was one of the best. I just got to put that up there.
Oh, I'm glad you did. I remember reading during when that was being made that Heath Ledger stayed inside or locked himself in a room for weeks at a time and would write down in a small journal like the most disturbing things he could think of to kind of just get his mind in that space where this is who I am. This is who my character is.
And I done heard a lot of people do that with the Joker character. And I done heard a lot of actors go down that rabbit hole and can't
be careful.
Can't get out that rabbit hole. So these method actors, it's serious with these guys. Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, James Gunn, inside of Marvel. Best trilogy. I'm sorry. 1 was great, 2 was great, 3 was great. That's always going to be up there.
We want to know what you think, so put your comments in the comment section, or you can call us.
Yeah.
We have a voicemail.
Do we?
Yes, 703-726-7419. That's 703-726-7419.
We still have a house phone. We just talked about Scream.
Yes, and don't be fooled by the message. All right, don't expect us to be on there screaming. No.
And don't call with the Scream Man voice and act funny and stuff like that because I brought that up. By the way, I forgot one.
Oh, okay.
Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah.
They shouldn't have dropped this last one.
No,
when
they
he went
shouldn't
back in
have.
time.
No.
Worst
It's bad.
sequel of all time. But Indy, 1, 2, 3.
Those are great.
Indiana Jones, baby. Hard to beat.
That's Fred Smoot. I'm Michael Jenkins. The Get Loud podcast presented by SeatGeek. Watch some sequels and prequels this week.
We just got loud.